Okay. Just got to tune the guitar. Okay, tuned. All right, let me shut down everything else here. Good. And look. Okay. We are ready to go. We're going to chant Gurudev by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gurudev Kripa Bendiya Koe Tase Trina Bekatina Kripa Bendiya Koe Tase Trina Bekatina Sakalat Sakane Buluti Akoro Nijamanas Prayagina Sakalat Sakane Buluti Akoro Nijamanas Prayagina Sakale Samangorite Shakati Deo Nata Jata Jata Sakale Saman Shakati Deo Nata Jata Jata Tarita Karibo Hari Namasuke Aparada Beata Gaibo, Haki Namasuke, Aparada Ideata. Kamiheno Kripa, Miyagi Jana, Kritata Hoibenata. Kamiheno Kripa, Labiai Jana. Kritata Hoibenata Shakti Buriet Amniyati Tin Horamori Atmasada Shakti Buriet Amniyati Tin Horamori Atmasada Vichare Kichunae Poi Domara Karuna Sara Yoga Vichare Kichunae Poi Domara Karuna Sara Korana Hoile Kanya Kanya Randanara Kibawara Korana Hoile Kandiya Kandiya Randanara Kibawara Kude Kripa Bendiya korumedase Trina bekatina Ripabendia korumedase Trina bekatina Sakamasahane Muladia koro Ishamana sprayadina Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vinataga Sammeganiti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Praja Sesha Shunyavani Vasajana Dejatsarane Gaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanityananda Shivadvaita Ganana Siva Sati Gaura Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Putale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deja Tarane. All glory is due to His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. So we'll read the translation to this poem, written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and this poem is from the Sharanagati, the Path of Surrender. Gurudev, give this servant just one drop of mercy. I am lower than the blade of grass. Give me all help. Give me strength. Let me be as you are without desires or aspirations. I offer you all respects, for thus I may have the energy to know you correctly. Then by chanting the holy name in great ecstasy, all my offenses will cease. When will such mercy fall to this one who is weak and devoid of intelligence? Allow me to be with you. If you examine me, you will find no good qualities. Your mercy is all that I am made of. If you are not merciful unto me, I can only weep, and I will not be able to maintain my life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. So now we will proceed to the Caitanya Bhagavat, and we are reading from the 3rd chapter of the Antya Lila. 3rd chapter of the Antya Lila of the Caitanya Bhagavat, and we just finished hearing about the Sadbhuja form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Sadbhuja form means the six-armed form of the Supreme Personality of God, in which he appears as Lord Ramchandra, Krishna, playing his flute, and as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and he manifested this form before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya after he defeated Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya by presenting so many different interpretations of what's called the Atmarama verse. Apmrascha Nigranta Rukrame Kavrantiya Haitaki Bhaktiyatam Bhutagana Gunahare. Anyway, so he presented so many different interpretations, and basically Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was completely overwhelmed and astounded to hear all these interpretations, and he surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we're in the midst of reading about this particular wonderful, wonderful, amazing, and ecstatic pastime. So we'll proceed to the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So Om Gana Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Meditam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Maha. And we're going to share the screen. Hopefully, there it is. And we'll move one of these windows around. Okay. So we read text 111. I'll read it again. And we're starting from text 112. Let me write this down. 112. So, Lord Sri Gaurasundara, the ocean of mercy, then placed his feet on Sarvabhauma's chest. Wow. Having received the touch of the Lord's lotus feet, Sarvabhauma Mahashaya became completely filled with transcendental ecstasy. He tightly grabbed the Lord's lotus feet and cried in ecstasy while saying, "Today I have captured the thief who stole my heart." Sarvabhauma cried pathetically as he held those wonderful lotus feet, which are the wealth of Rama, the goddess of fortune. "O Lord Sri Chaitanya, my life and soul, please glance mercifully on this fallen soul. I am so sinful that I dared to teach you religious principles. I did not understand your pure, inconceivable glories. O Lord, who does not become bewildered by your illusory energy, which bewilders even the best of the great yogis? So it is not at all astonishing that you have bewildered me. Now please bestow on me loving devotional service at your lotus feet." All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the Lord of my life. All glories to you who have taken birth from the womb of the pious Sachi. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the life and soul of all. All glories to the protector of the Vedas, Brahmanas, saintly persons, and religious principles. All glories to the Lord of Vaikuntha planets. All glories to the best of the sannyasis, whose form consists of pure goodness. The supremely intelligent, broad-minded Sarvabhauma repeatedly offered obeisances and recited various verses. Let my conscience, this is a famous verse. He actually recited like 100 verses in glorification of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is one of them, and I believe there's another one coming up. Let my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. When in the course of time devotional service became lost, the Lord incarnated as Sri Krishna Chaitanya to again manifest his own devotional service. May my mind remain attached to his lotus feet. Now this next verse, I'm going to read the Sanskrit to it, is actually something that practically every devotee memorizes at one point or other. which actually talks about the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his position too. So everything's really compact in this verse. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shikshartam Eka Purusha Purana. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who was descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender under his lotus feet. So, so let me just go through the verse again. So Vairagya means without passion or without desire, or also means detachment. That means one doesn't desire to enjoy this material world. The vidya, the knowledge, the teaching of detachment, which is known as bhakti yoga, shikshartam, this is shiksha, means teacher, eka. This is his one teaching, most important teaching. Shikshartam eka purusha, person, Purana, the oldest, or the original person, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And he has appeared in the form of the sannyasi, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira, Dari Kripam, and he is full of mercy. Kripam. Dari Sharira, his form is of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and he's full of mercy. And let me surrender unto his lotus feet. Aham Prapajay, I surrender unto him. So this is what is very important verse. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shiksharta Eka Purusha Purana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dari Kripam Buddhya Yastvam Aham Prabhajay. It'd be good if all the devotees would memorize this verse. The Lord is incarnated in this world to reveal his own devotional service along with renunciation. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Tanu, I'm reading the Sanskrit. The form of Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the original personality of Godhead. There is no one greater than or equal to him within the three worlds. Let the qualities, names, and lotus feet of such an ocean of mercy constantly manifest within my heart. In this way, Sarvabhauma composed 100 verses as he glorified Lord Chaitanya while holding his lotus feet. You have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. Therefore, O Lord, please deliver this fallen soul. You have entangled me in unlimited bondage. How can I understand you when I am absorbed in knowledge, wealth, and high birth? This is, it's very similar to Queen Kunti's prayers, where she says, Janma Ishvarya Shutasha Shibir Edamanaha Adapuman. That please help me become detached from this good birth, Janma, Aishvarya, opulence, Shrutasha, learning, and Shribir, of course, means bodily beauty or some attractive feature. O Lord of all living entities, please bestow your mercy on me so that my mind may remain fixed on you day and night. O Lord, your pastimes are inconceivable and unfathomable. No one can know them unless you give one the power. As Lord Jagannath, the absolute truth, appearing in wood, you reside in Nilachal and relish palatable foodstuffs. You now eat your own remnants and cry when you see your own form. In other words, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the remnants of Lord Jagannath and he cries in ecstasy. So in other words, he's eating his own remnants. You become intoxicated on seeing your own form. Therefore, O Lord, who can understand your glories? Only you know yourself, and only a person who is favored by you can also know you. I'm so insignificant. How can I know you when even the demigods, headed by Brahma and Shiva, are frustrated in their attempts to know you? Having received the Lord's mercy, Sarvabhauma offered prayers with great humility in this way. After hearing his prayers, the six-armed Lord Gaurachandra smiled and spoke to Sarvabhauma as follows. Listen, Sarvabhauma, you are my associate, hence you were able to see my opulences. I have come here for your sake, for you have worshipped me profusely. I have become greatly pleased on hearing your explanations on devotional service. Whatever you have said is the truth. How can anything else come from your mouth? Anyone who hears and recites the 100 verses you composed will certainly attain devotional service to me. These verses will be renowned as Sarvabhauma Shataka. It means the 100 verses of Sarvabhauma. Do not tell anyone about the form I have manifested before you. Keep this to yourself. So always the question is there, how did we find out about it? And the general answer, the answer I think that is appropriate, is that after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, these things were revealed. And certainly these devotees might have written them down too, but they got revealed after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world. I order you to not disclose this as long as, here's the thing, remain in the world. Nityananda is my second body. Serve his lotus feet with devotion. I declare that he is very grave and deep. One can know him only when I reveal him. After revealing this truth to Sarvabhauma, the Lord concealed his opulence. When Sarvabhauma Mahashaya recognized his Lord, he lost consciousness and became filled with transcendental happiness. One who hears these characteristics of Lord Chaitanya will cross the ocean of material existence and attain Lord Chaitanya's abode. These topics of Krishna are most confidential. By hearing them, one certainly attains Krishna. After delivering Sarvabhauma in this way, the Lord began to enjoy kirtan pastimes, Nilachal. That's Jagannath Puri. By constantly chanting and dancing in ecstasy, the Lord was so absorbed in the mellows of love for Krishna that he did not know whether it was day or night. When the residents of Nilachal saw those wonderful pastimes, they also began to chant the names of Hari. They would say, here is the moving Jagannath. There was no one who was not bewildered on seeing the Lord. On whatever road Sri Gaurachandra walked, Gaurasundara walked, people would constantly chant the name of Hari. Wherever the Lord would place his feet, people would plunder the dust from that place. Only pious people were able to plunder that dust. Their ecstasy is beyond description. How sweet was the Lord's matchless form. Just by seeing him, the hearts of everyone became captivated. Tears of ecstatic love constantly flowed from his lotus eyes as he chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with his lotus mouth. His entire body was decorated with sandalwood paste and flower garlands, and his sweet, slow gait was like that of an intoxicated lion. Lord Chaitanya had no external consciousness, even when he was walking on the road, because he was merged in the mellows of devotional service. After a few days, Paramananda Puri returned after completing his pilgrimage. On seeing Paramananda Puri from a distance, Lord Gauranga stood up with respect. The Lord was greatly pleased to see his dear devotee. He offered respects to him and began to dance in ecstatic love. The Lord raised his arms and exclaimed, Hari, Hari, now I have seen Paramananda Puri. Was it rhymes? Today my eyes and my life have become successful. Today all my religious activities have become fruitful. The Lord then said, today my acceptance of sannyas has borne fruit, for Sri Madhavendra Puri has manifested before me. So of course, Paramananda Puri was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and therefore, because he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, he was considered, let's say, etiquette-wise, on the level of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master. because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master was the god brother of Paramananda Puri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master's name was Ishwara Puri. After speaking these words, the Lord embraced his dear devotee and soaked his body with tears from his lotus eyes. Paramananda Puri also became ecstatic and forgot himself upon seeing the Lord's moon-like face. They continually offered respects to each other for some time. Paramananda Puri was the abode of Lord Chaitanya's love. The Lord was greatly pleased to receive Paramananda Puri, and he kept him as one of his associates. Having attained his Lord, Paramananda Puri stayed there and served his lotus feet in ecstasy. Sri Paramananda Puri was a dear disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri and was filled with the mellows of ecstatic love. After a few days, the Rup Damodar also joined the Lord there and enjoyed pastimes with the Lord day and night. Swarup Damodar was expert in the art of music. On hearing his voice, the Lord would begin dancing. Of course, Swarup Damodar was, or is, Lalita Devi. Swarup Damodar and Paramananda Puri were two of the principal associates in the Lord's final pastimes. In this way, various devotees gradually joined the Lord in Nilachal. All the Lord's associates who had taken birth in Orissa also gradually joined the Lord. Prajuna Mishra, whose body was filled with love of God, as well as Paramananda and Ramananda, two most sober personalities, all joined the Lord. Damodar Pandit and Sri Shankara Pandit also came there within a few days. Sri Prajuna Brahmachari was a servant of Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsinga manifested in his body. So he was also called Nrsinga Brahmachari. When he understood that Nrsingadev was enjoying kirtan pastimes in the form of a sannyasi, he came and joined the Lord. The great personality, Bhagavan Acharya, who would never hear of material enjoyment, also came there. In this way, the servants of the Lord came from various places and joined the Lord. When they saw the Lord, their distress was vanquished. They all participated in the Lord's kirtan pastimes. The Lord of Vaikuntha, in the form of a sannyasi, thus performed kirtan in the association of all the devotees. The most sober Nityananda relished the mellows of Lord Chaitanya's love. He was supremely independent and could not remain steady in one place. As he tried to grab hold of Lord Jagannath, the temple guards were unable to stop him. One day he climbed under the golden Singhasana and embraced Balaram. As he climbed up, a temple guard caught hold of his hand, who was suddenly thrown back 5 to 7 feet. Mystical experience. Nityananda Prabhu took the garland from Balaram's neck and put it around his own neck. After putting the garland on, Nityananda walked away like the king of elephants. The temple guard got up and thought as follows: "This avaduta strength is not that of a human being, for how else could one survive after touching Balaram? I can control a mad elephant, but how could a human being escape my grip? Although I caught tightly hold of his hand, I was thrown back like a blade of grass." The respectable temple guard thought in this way. When he saw Nityananda later, he felt humbled. Yet Nityananda Swarup, whose natural characteristic was like that of a child, embraced the guard with affection. Some days after that, Gaurachandra, the husband of Lakshmi, took up residence on the shore of the ocean. Shri Gaura Sundara was greatly pleased to see that most enchanting spot on the shore of the ocean. As the moon shone and the wind blew from the south, Sri Satchidananda sat down on the shore of the ocean. The forehead and entire body of the Lord was adorned with sandalwood pulp. He always chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with his lotus mouth. His chest was beautifully adorned with flower garlands, and he was surrounded on all sides by his devotees. The waves of the ocean looked most attractive at night. The Lord smiled as he looked at those waves. Now the personified ocean attained the same good fortune that the Ganges and Yamuna had attained. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha resided on the shore of the ocean along with his associates. The Lord joyfully performed kirtan throughout the night on the most secluded shore of the ocean. The Lord, who was expert in dancing wildly, danced wildly in the mellows of his own ecstatic love, and the devotees floated in an ocean of happiness. At every moment the Lord displayed various symptoms of ecstatic love, like hares standing on end, crying, shivering, thundering, bellowing, perspiring, and changing color. All the ecstatic symptoms of devotional service simultaneously and fully manifest in the Lord's body. All the ecstatic symptoms of devotional service manifested in their personified forms. They were all fully cognizant portions of the Lord's plenary portions. The Lord danced in the mood of a Vaishnava. Realizing this, all the personified ecstatic symptoms of devotional service constantly remained at his side. Therefore, Sri Gaurasundara was never separated for even a moment from feelings of ecstatic love. Even a small potency exhibited by the Lord in his pastimes could never be exhibited by anyone else. That is why his potencies are unfathomable. This is the verdict of all the Vedas. The love of God that Lord Caitanya manifested cannot be manifested by anyone else within the innumerable universes. Therefore, one can never compare Lord Caitanya with anyone other than the Lord himself. Anyone who receives his merciful glance is empowered by him and can understand him in truth. Therefore, by taking complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, one attains devotional service and is freed from all entanglement. The same Lord whom controllers of the universe like Brahma and Shiva constantly meditate on was now absorbed in ecstatic love and personally dancing in the association of his devotees. I offer my obeisances at the feet of all those devotees with whom Gaurachandra enjoyed his kirtan pastimes. In this way, Sri Gaurasundara enchantingly danced throughout the night on the shore of the ocean. Gadadhar constantly remained with the Lord. There was never any separation between Gadadhar and the Lord. Gadadhar always served the Lord even while he was eating, sleeping, or moving about. When Gadadhar recited Srimad Bhagavatam before the Lord would become intoxicated by the mellows of ecstatic love. Of course, there's a description that when Gadadhar would recite the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry so profusely that the tears actually began to smear the ink on the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, the Bhagavatam was written on leaves, rather than, well, sometimes they were able to purchase paper, but, it was very expensive, but generally it was written on palm leaves. The Lord was pleased with whatever Gadadhar would say, and he would take Gadadhar along on visits to the residences of the Vaishnavas. One day the Lord went to Sri Paramananda Puri's monastery and sat down next to him. The Lord had great affection for Paramananda Puri, just like that found between the two close friends, Krishna and Arjuna. The Lord would always enjoy passing his time discussing topics of Krishna with Paramananda Puri. Being the indwelling super soul, the Lord understood that the water in Puri Goswami's well was not good. So here's a miracle that's going to be performed by the Lord. The Lord asked Puri Goswami, "How is the water in your well?" Paramananda Puri replied, "This well is very unfortunate, for its water is always completely muddy." On hearing this, the Lord said, "Alas, Jagannath has become miserly. Anyone who touches the water from Paramananda Puri's well will be delivered, even if he is most sinful. Therefore, by the potency of Lord Jagannath, the water has become so bad that no one can drink it." After speaking these words, Mahaprabhu stood up, raised his arms, and began to speak as follows. "O Lord Jagannath, give me the benediction that the Ganges may enter into this well. Please order the Bhagavati Ganga, which flows in Patala Loka, to enter this well." When all the devotees heard these words from the Lord's lotus mouth, they began to loudly chant the name of Hari. After a while, the Lord departed for his residence, and the devotees went to take rest. Then, accepting the Lord's order on her head, Ganga Devi entered that well. In the morning, everyone saw that wonder. Paramananda Puri's well had become filled with crystal clear water. On seeing this wonder, the devotees chanted the name of Hari, and Puri Goswami lost consciousness in ecstasy. When everyone realized that the Ganges had entered the well, they began to circumambulate it. As soon as Mahaprabhu heard the news, he came there. He was greatly pleased to see the clear water. The Lord said, "Listen, devotees, anyone who takes bath in the water of this well will certainly attain the result of bathing in the Ganges. He will obtain pure devotional service to Krishna." When all the devotees heard these words from the lotus mouth of the Lord, they began to loudly chant the name of Hari. The Lord would joyfully take bath and drink that divine water from Puri Goswami's well. The Lord said, "Know for certain that I live in this world simply because of Puri Goswami's affection. I belong to Puri Goswami. There's no doubt about this. If he likes, he can even sell me." So one thing we can learn from this and from the other pastimes of these great devotees is how much love there is between the devotees. Mutual reciprocation. Anyone who sees Puri Goswami even once will become qualified to attain love for Krishna. After glorifying Paramananda Puri and sanctifying his well, the Lord returned to his residence. Only the Supreme Lord knows how to increase the glories of his devotees. Therefore, only an ungrateful person fails to worship him. The Lord incarnates to protect his devotees. He always enjoys pastimes with his devotees. For the sake of his devotees, the Lord performs activities that may be considered improper. An example of this is the killing of Bali on the request of Sugriva. So, for those of you who don't know what that pastime entailed, that Bali and Sugriva were brothers, but Bali was more powerful than Sugriva. Actually, they were sort of half-brothers. Bali was the son of Indra, and Sugriva the son of the sun. S-U-N. Doesn't mean S-O-N, but S-U-N. So Sugriva was the son of the sun, and there was a misunderstanding between them. And Bali, I'm not going to tell the whole story, it's quite lengthy in the Ramayana. Bali thought that Sugriva wanted to usurp his position as the king of Kishkindo, which is, I guess, is the monkey kingdom. And Bali tried to kill Sugriva, and Sugriva took shelter in a place where Bali couldn't go because that particular place, Mount Rishimukh, was actually, because Bali was cursed. If he went there, he would die because he had committed an offense against a sage one particular time. So anyway, Sugriva was there, and finally when Lord Ramchandra came along, because Lord Ramchandra was looking for Sita Devi, he made a deal with Bali. I made friendship and made a deal with Sugriva. He made friendship with Sugriva that he would rectify the situation and get Sugriva back the kingdom because he had been offended by his brother, and in addition would get Sugriva back his wife because Bali had taken Sugriva's wife away. Oh my God. Of course, monkey see, monkey do, as they say. So anyway, Lord Ramchandra said to Sugriva, "You go challenge Bali to a fight, and I'll be hiding behind a tree, and I will shoot Bali and kill him, and then everything will be rectified." And so they tried that once, and what happened is that Lord Ramchandra couldn't distinguish between who was Bali and who was Sugriva, and so he held off, and Sugriva got beaten almost to a pulp. Then it was decided that next time Sugriva would wear this sort of garland that would distinguish him, garland of victory, Vijay Mala, and then challenge Bali again. And so he challenged Bali again. Lord Ramchandra, hiding behind a tree, shot Bali, and Bali got really angry as he was dying. "You've committed a great offense by killing me. You violated etiquette. You violated, dharma and everything like that." And then Lord Ramchandra explained, "Because you have taken your brother's wife and mistreated your brother and threatened your brother, therefore you're a criminal, and I am acting on behalf of the king." Lord Ramchandra wasn't king then because he was in the forest, and his brother was the king at that particular point. So, or at least acting on his behalf. So then Lord Ramchandra convinced Bali that he was right to kill Bali, and Bali apologized to Lord Ramchandra and left this world meditating on the lotus feet of Lord Ramchandra. So that's what was explained in the previous verse, where it says, "For the sake of his devotee, the Lord performs activities that may be considered improper. Actually, it wasn't improper. An example of this is the killing of Bali on the request of Sugriva. It wasn't improper because Bali had usurped someone else's wife and practically threatened his brother, wanted to kill his brother, banished his brother. So he was a criminal. And therefore, he made a mistake. He thought he thought that Sugriva was against him and trying to get rid of him. Anyway, misunderstanding. So in other words, the Lord will do anything for his servants, and he'll even break his promise to protect the life of his servants, as he did when grandfather Bhishma was attacking Arjuna, and it looked like Arjuna was going to be in big trouble during the battle of Kurukshetra, and Krishna broke his promise and interfered. He picked up the chariot wheel and rushed at grandfather Bhishma. His promise was never to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, yet he broke it for his devotee. The Lord serves his servants in his own ecstasy. The devotees conquer the unconquerable, lion-like Lord Caitanya. The Lord of Vaikuntha and all the other planets enjoyed his kirtan pastimes with the devotees on the shore of the ocean. The Lord made his residence on the shore of the ocean and enjoyed the ocean of devotional service. Since the ocean attained perfection during this incarnation of the Lord, therefore Lakshmi appeared from its waters. The sins committed by the residents of Nilachal are therefore nullified simply by taking bath in the ocean. Therefore, because of the ocean's good fortune, Ganga Devi swiftly flows to merge with its waters. And of course, if you go bathing anywhere in the world, in the ocean, you're getting some Ganges water. Sure is, because all the oceans are actually mixing in different places, whether they're mixing in the north or mixing in the south, but they are mixing, and so there's always some Ganges water, so you get that benefit. In this way, Sri Krishna Chaitanya made the ocean glorious by residing on its shore. When the Lord came to Nilachal, Maharaj Prataparudra was not present in Orissa. He had gone to Vijayanagara on a military campaign, therefore he did not see the Lord at that time. After spending some days in Nilachal, the Lord returned in jubilation to Gauda Desh. Of course, that's Bengal. Feeling an increased attachment for the Ganges, the Lord quickly returned to Gauda Desh. Sarvabhauma had a brother named Vidya Vachaspati, who was peaceful, forgiving, pious, and most fortunate. The Lord suddenly came to Vijayanagara with a full party and stayed there in the house of Vidya Vachaspati. Receiving the Lord of Vaikuntha as his guest, Vidya Vachaspati offered obeisances, falling flat before the Lord. That Brahmana was so happy that he did not know what to do. The Lord embraced him and said, "Listen to my words. I have developed a desire to go to Mathura. I will stay here a few days and take bath in the Ganges. Give me a private room so that I can stay here and bathe in the Ganges. Then you can make arrangements so I can go to Mathura. If you have affection for me, then you must do this for me." On hearing the Lord's words, Vidya Vachaspati humbly replied, The Brahmana said, "It is the good fortune of my entire family that the dust from your lotus feet has blessed our house. My house and everything in it belongs to you. You remain here peacefully. No one will disturb you." The Lord was satisfied with his words. He then blessed him by staying there a few days. Can the rising sun ever be hidden? Everyone came to know the Lord's arrival. News spread throughout the area of Navadvip that the crest-jeweled sannyasis had arrived in the house of Vidya Vachaspati. The hearts of the people became so joyful that it appeared that they were living in Vaikuntha in their present bodies. Everyone chanted the names of Hari in ecstasy, and they forgot their wives, children, bodies, and houses. People said to each other, "Let us go and see his lotus feet." Speaking in this way, everyone went in great joy, without even informing their elders. Unlimited millions of people chanted the names of Hari as they went to see Lord Gauranga. The crowd was so thick that it was difficult to see the road, so people broke through the forest on their way to see the Lord. Oh, brothers, just hear the topics of how Lord Caitanya delivered all the living entities. Although people cut through the thorny forest, they felt such ecstasy that they did not feel any distress. The dense crowd soon filled the entire forest with many excellent paths. People chanted the name of Hari in all directions. Such are the pastimes of Lord Gauranga. Someone said, I will grab hold of his lotus feet and beg for his mercy so that I may be freed from all bondage. Someone else said, if I just see him, I will have everything. Why should I ask for anything? Another said, I do not know his glories, so I blasphemed him without limit. Now I will hold his lotus feet to my chest and beg him to rescue me from those sins. Someone else said, my son is an habitual gambler. I will ask for the benediction that he may not gamble anymore. Someone said, my heartfelt request is that I may never give up his lotus feet. Someone else said, I will ask for the most glorious benediction that I may never forget Lord Gaurasundara. Everyone felt transcendental ecstasy as they walked along, speaking in this way. They soon came to the boat ghat, and the boatman fell into an anxiety over how to ferry everyone across the river. Thousands of people climbed into each boat, so even the large boats broke apart. People joyfully crossed the river at various points by paying their fares with even clothing. Those who could not find space in a boat swam across the river by floating on top of overturned pots. Some made boats by tying banana trees together, and some playfully swam across the river. People in all directions chanted the name of Hari, and the sound vibration penetrated the entire universe. When Vijayavachaspati suddenly arrived, he gathered many boats to transport the people, but the people would not wait for the boats and somehow or other cross the river. Such was the attraction of Lord Caitanya, and such attraction possible for anyone other than the Supreme Lord? In this way, everyone crossed the Ganges and grabbed hold of Vijayavachaspati's feet. You are most pious and fortunate, for Lord Caitanya has come to your house. Therefore, who can estimate your good fortune? Now please deliver us. We are sinful and have fallen in the well of material existence. Even though we lived in the same village, we did not understand his glories. Now please show us his lotus feet. Then the lives of us sinners will be successful. On hearing the people's pathetic appeals, Vijayavachaspati, the magnanimous Brahmana, cried out of affection. As he led everyone to his house, millions of people began to chant the name of Hari. The name of Hari was the only sound that came from everyone's mouth. They neither spoke nor heard anything else. Lord Sri Gaurasundara is an ocean of mercy, and he advented to deliver everyone. When the Lord heard the vibration of the name of Hari, he was greatly pleased. Feeling obliged by the people's good fortune, he came out of the house. How sweetly enchanting was the Lord's form! His form can be compared only with his own form. His lotus face was always pleasing, and tears of love flowed from his lotus eyes. Okay, so we went to 325 today. Okay, 112 to 325. Okay, then we can take some questions, stop sharing, and allow you to unmute yourselves. Okay, so you have a question. Now's the time for questions. Raise your hand and I will call on you and ask you to unmute yourself. So you raise your hand again by going to the little heart at the bottom of the screen which says react, and you press on the heart, and then you'll see a menu that says raise your hand. Very easy. And so then you raise your hand, react, and anyway. And if you can't figure out where that little heart is, then you do Control-Shift-Y on the PC. I don't know on the Mac way it works. Okay, who has questions? Raise your hand, or else we'll just end early. Because this 10 minutes is time. So if you have a question, raise your hand. Or you can type your question in the chat window. And you go to the chat window by pressing the chat at the bottom of the screen, and then you'll see a window that you can type in. So, nobody has any questions. Okay, Diarotica. Ask a question, unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, please accept my obeisances. My question is about how sometimes it'll say that we will like approach Lord Chaitanya through Lord Nityananda, but then
Yeah,
sometimes it says we can't approach Lord Nityananda until we approach Lord Chaitanya and he grants us, permission.
yeah,
So it kind of feels like circular. So I'm a little bit confused by
circular.
that.
Well, we need to get Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's permission to approach Lord Nityananda, but if one wants to get rid of anarthas, so here's the point. The process of getting rid of anarthas, obviously you need Lord Chaitanya's permission to approach Lord Nityananda. So you also need Lord Nityananda's permission to approach Lord Chaitanya. So you need that permission. That's one thing. That's first step. Okay, first step. Second step is to get rid of anarthas. Anartha means unwanted things like lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy. And the process for doing that is to approach Lord Nityananda first. Then, by approaching Lord Nityananda first, one achieves a higher taste, so the anarthas can be dissipated. And then, once the anarthas are dissipated, then you can come to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this word approach is interesting because you can approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first, but he'll send you to Lord Nityananda. But if you want to get the instructions and progress in devotional service, you have to start with Lord Nityananda. Okay.
Okay. So we
Yeah.
go to Lord Chaitanya to get permission to approach
Yeah,
Lord
yeah.
Nityananda
To approach
to
Lord
get rid of
Nityananda.
anarthas.
You also
And
need
then,
Lord Nityananda's permission to approach Lord Nityananda. But approach is one thing, but to dive into a relationship. So, because the word approach is used in different contexts. Sometimes we use the word approach meaning to dive into a relationship with Lord Nityananda, and other times it means just go to him. So when we talk about approaching Lord Chaitanya to get permission to go Lord Nityananda, that means just going to him, give us permission. But you can't dive into a relationship with Lord Chaitanya before you have a relationship with Lord Nityananda. Is that hopefully that makes it clear?
yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually nomenclature. How words in different contexts can mean similar things, or sometimes even completely different things, or slightly different things. So it's a question of knowing the philosophy. So, okay, anybody else have a question? You got 5 more minutes. Otherwise, we end early. Da 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 da. Govinda, Govindam Adipurusham, Tamaham Bhajami. Tomorrow, here in the United States, is something we call Thanksgiving. And it's a holiday that was instituted in memory of the first explorers or settlers who came to the United States, and they were able to survive with the help of the Indians and it's whatever. And they celebrate by eating all sorts of abominable things and going home with their family or whatever. And anyway, we devotees have a celebration. We do not eat turkey on that particular day, where the devotees have some sort of festival. I personally, I don't know. I don't feel attracted to any of these festivals anymore. The material festivals. I'm attracted to Janmashtami, Govardhan Puja, and all these things. Yeah, ask another question real quickly. We have 2 more minutes.
Okay, sorry. So this part is about the anarchas because I remember one time in a class you were talking about how we use our intelligence to get rid of our anarchas, like how we can use our intelligence, but obviously, like,
Yeah.
chanting is foremost. So could you touch on that again?
Yeah, I mean, the way we get rid of the anarchists, first of all, we become conscious of them, and then we tolerate, just like, Rupa Goswami talks about the pushing of the tongue, belly, genitals, mind, anger, and words. We tolerate them, and then we pray to Krishna to help us overcome them. But the main thing to prove our sincerity that we do want to overcome them, that even when they remain, we should not give in to them. One anartha, of course, is anger. We all have this tendency, at least in the material world, to get angry because we're frustrated, uh, angry because things didn't happen the way we wanted them to happen, which is quite rare that things happen the way we want them to happen. Someone doesn't do what we want them to do. And so instead of manifesting the anger, we become aware of it and understand that this is an anartha and tolerate the pushing. And also, don't simply repress or suppress the anger, but become aware and connect it with a particular need that you have, and then somehow or other connect that need with your desire to be Krishna conscious. So it actually should be done in relationship with Krishna and relationship with your spiritual needs and material needs. Okay, now it's time to go. Thank you very much. We will see everybody hopefully tomorrow evening or tomorrow morning, depending on where you are. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami.